Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I don't have a bingo, but I can sort the rack out by playing veg, and that leaves quite a good rack leave. Veg takes an A after it, which I have. I can't see any 5-letter plays which get the V doubled. So I'm going with veg. Not good. Slightly too many vowels. Duplicate O, not great. Tattooed, not good. There could be an 8 with these tiles. Let me consider the floaters on the board. Can't see anything with the V or the G. If I played off just 2 O's, I would have a decent rack leave. But the problem with that is I'm unlikely to score very well. 23 points for my opponent. Craw takes an L after it and an S in front. Only an H goes next to the C for parallel plays in column 11. I don't have an N or an S for going after Vega. Just wondering if I have a bingo through the C. Can't see one. The best I can see is opcode. Only 11 points. I'm sure I can do better than that. So, what about a play of oop for 15? Quite a decent rack leave. Slightly vulnerable to vowels. But this is the best I'm seeing. Well, I don't draw vowels, just consonants. And that's not a good looking rack. Oop only takes an S after it. Woe takes a number of floaters after it. Toop is good. TWP. That would help to sort the rack out. Can't see anywhere for it. Well, there's column 12 making wow and op. And that will be quite a nice play. Vega has really hampered the development of the left side of the board because no tiles can go in front or after it. Now, I have an A for going after the Z, so I may have a play in column 13. Riz also takes an A after it, so it's row M and row 13 where the action is, the C and the V killing anywhere else of interest. So what do I have in column 13? And I'd like to get rid of the W as it's my least bingo-y tile. So I could play paw for 34. Not a great rack leave, but slightly better than... Well, I'm wondering about playing pawed for an extra 6 points, but that introduces a couple of extremely useful floaters to the board, which I'd rather not do. Paw means that plays are going to be in row N or column 14, both of which will open up access to triple word squares. Now, how about row M? Is there a play there? Sorry, row M. Not seeing anything. I'm going with paw. Well, that could be worse. I do have cat and cats on my rack. And it's good to see the S. So I have cats in row N and also cats in column 14 making pips. But row N is going to score more. Both of those could go if opponent plays in column 14. And I'm not seeing anywhere else for the Q. With an I would have Cade or Caddy. And no I's available for Chi. The E of Vega, a really useful floater, and that's stayed available. I could play martyred in that spot. If my Q spots are blocked. Wow, great bingo for my opponent. 84 points. Has he provided any decent Q spots for me? Not sure he has. Well, I have cats and unlooses. £33 points. Cats for 42, so I think this is better. And since I am behind, I'd like to open the board up. Am I missing anything in column 14? I don't think so. There is a U, but I'm not going to score as much as 42 using it for the Q, so I'm going with cats. Not great. Too many duplicates. Slightly unbalanced. Can't immediately see a bingo with this rack. I don't think there's a 7. Could be an 8. Not too many floaters to consider. Can't see anything with the V. Or the U. Now I have an I for going underneath the Q, so I could play timid in row O. That would be quite a decent score. Pip also takes an I. I don't have anything which goes after Tsar at the moment. And I have Imido in column 8 for 30 points, keeping TEE. So I do have options with this rack. I trail by about 30, but that could easily be a bingo since my opponent is on turn. I think unloose takes D, N and S after it. So I have a D. I could play Imide or Medii for about 24 points. And that would be a slightly better rack leave than Imido. TE rather than TEE. 38 points for timid should it remain available. And I've also got tied in that spot, TEID, which wouldn't score as much, but would leave a better rack leave. Timid leaves double E. Tied leaves ME. So, what else is there to consider? Okay, nice play by my opponent, 38 points. Elide takes an R in front. So a bingo could begin with V and end in R. Row N now available as a bingo lane. So do I play Imido 30 points? Or do I play in column 12? Just wondering if I can get the M doubled. Only by playing meted, keeping double I. And that would score the same as Imido. So what about Medii? What about idiom? I don't have an O. So what about Imide in this spot? 24 points. I'm going with Imido. Fantastic. I draw the second blank and the rest of the rack is pretty bingo-y, so I am surely bingoing next turn. The highest scoring bingo lane would be row A, beginning or ending with an I, and realistically beginning with an I. Can't see anything which plays in that spot. So where else is there to consider? Column 12, blank as an S. Well, blank as a D, I have erodent, and that doesn't open up column row A rather. £70 points. A play in row N is going to open up row O unless it begins with a C or a V. And there could be a play beginning with a C. Just not seeing it. Over net plays with the blank as a V, which is also pretty blocky because the V would be in this third space, so row O would only be available for a 2-letter play. But at the moment, erodent is my preferred choice. It scores the most, and it's not particularly dangerous. Can't see anything beginning with V and ending in R. Probably wouldn't score enough anyway. 13 minutes on my opponent's clock, 14 on mine, so he's spending a while on his moves, which is fine. And I note his rating is 1830, which somebody mentioned a while back is a cap on players who don't have a real world rating, and apologies if I've got that wrong. So quite a critical moment. Is my opponent going to bingo or get a big score? Or alternatively, am I going to be able to take the lead? Overnet is quite nice because it generates more floaters, which will be useful if my opponent does score well with his next turn. The N of unloose not available for a bingo. The U is, but that won't get doubled, and nothing goes in front of unloose. Column 14 available, and might actually be quite a nice lane for plays ending ES or IS because of the points available from Pip and Tsar. None of my tiles with points go after Tsar. Can't see anything with the blank as a G. Ah, that's a shame. Hopefully my opponent will be back. Great, he's back. That wasn't too long. I was just about to see what publicly available information there was on him, and I think I'll still do that. Medium unfinished games, okay. Now, opponent has not blocked erodent, fantastic, and he's only scored 22, so dream result. Erodent for 70. I don't think opponent has provided options for scoring more. Not great, but not a disaster either. I lead by 8, so not a very big lead. A couple of scoring tiles in the H and the M. I'll be looking to play off one or both of those and split up the duplicate T. And I still don't have anything which goes after ZA, so I can't constructively consider column 14. Not an easy board to play on. Scraw takes an M, so do I have any plays ending MOR? I could just stick my M there. Tithed is not a disastrous rack leave. Double T, not a terrible duplicate to have, and T and H have some synergy. And it's at over 30 points. Just 16 for my opponent. Do I have anything ending EM or IM? Don't think so. Any 6-letter plays ending in E? Don't think so. So I'm thinking about playing more for 30. Mim is good. Can I do better than Scrawl? I don't think so. I'm going with this. Well, I draw the R. Can't see a 7 here. But what are the floaters? There's the U. Well, that doesn't look like it goes well with this rack. I wonder if I have a play over the top of fun. Do I have anything which goes above the U? No. Wow, opponent changes, and I'm 20 points ahead. It would be great if I could score about 30 now and put a little bit of daylight between my opponent and me. And he changed 5 tiles, and there are no blanks to come. So he's not guaranteed or likely to have a decent rack. It would be really nice to get a 6-letter play ending in E, but I'm not seeing one. I could play Tithe and F. It doesn't feel right providing all those floaters. And it's only a little bit over 20 points. 12 minutes on my clock. My H can go underneath the U, but it's not going to score very much. Tricky, tricky position. I don't really want to play in column 13, although it might interrupt column 14. It's going to generate a new bingo lane. And if my opponent bingos, I'm in a tricky spot because it's not going to be easy to bingo back. R goes in front of if. Now, well, I was thinking about playing Thief, but I just don't think it's going to score enough. It has some strategic merit. Wow, what a tricky position to be in, and 37 tiles in the bag. Just can't see what to do. It's frustrating not having something to go above this U. I have Dither on my rack, just nowhere for it. Through an S I would have Thirsted. Mid is good. Now, should I do this? Mithered for 32 points. It's a good score. It's the sort of score I was looking for. The rack leaves okay. Opponent unlikely to bingo. If he can't bingo, likely to feel obliged to block this opening, and if he doesn't, it's a scoring spot for me. I'm going with this. Great. I have a bingo rack. I have Stylia. Can't see anywhere for it. But it is a pretty good rack when you're drawing 5 random tiles. I have a 50-point lead. So if opponent does bingo now, I'm still within reach of him. Now, Restily, I think, is the anagram of Stylia. Not sure if either of those play. Well, Restily and Pipey, I think, are both good. Restily not good, so I don't have that play in column 14. Wow, nice bingo for my opponent, Dubonnet. He goes into a 20-point lead. Has he provided a spot for Stylia? And I don't think he has. Dubonnet takes an S, but only 6 tiles to the right. Is there an anagram of stylia? And what about Reestily? I don't feel good about that. Might as well check it. Not good. Is there anything through the D? Not that I can see. I do have a good rack. If I can get rid of the Y or the Y and the L, then certainly columns 14 and 15 are good bingo lanes. I hope I'm not missing a bingo here. Does stylia have an anagram? No, not that I can see. And what about the floaters? There's a floating E and T in Dweebovision. I feel like there could be something through the E, but I'm not seeing it. 8 minutes on my clock. 25 tiles in the bag. Now, why don't I just play by and nigh for 28 points, keeping a very good 6-letter set. I'm inclined to do this. Yeah, I'm going with this. Okay, so now do I have something? I think I do, because estriol is good, so I have estriol and Dweebovision. Do I have anything beginning with the D, or with D in second place? Don't think so. How about a play through the E? Literos and Trolleys. Neither plays. Nothing ending in I. So it's just estriol. Loiters and toilers are the anagrams. Do they play anywhere? Yes, they do. Loiters in column 4. Fantastic. And I also have that in column 14 and pip, so I'm definitely bingoing. Opponent's gone again. Hopefully he'll be back as promptly as he was last time. He only trails by 10. He is back. Game on. 8 minutes on his clock. 8 minutes on my clock. Still 24 tiles to come, which is a lot. But the remaining tiles not particularly bingo-y. There are no blanks to come. There's only one S. And there's only one each of R, S and T. And there are a ton of A's. Opponent could have a very unbalanced rack. 39 points, decent score. But I'm going to get an even better one with loiters. And yeah, I was thinking, should I play estriol? And I think the answer to that is no. Loiters provides nothing. LO takes nothing in front. Although there is an X to come for Tex. But difficult to get that to play twice. Whereas estriol takes an O in front and there's one O to come. And scores about the same. So I'm happy with loiters. I don't think... Well, the only bad miss would be if there's something beginning with the D. I'm not seeing it. I'm going with loiters. Pretty good. I have agoutis on my rack. Nowhere for it. And it's a shame opponent played cage, because otherwise there would have been a spot for it. I don't have anything beginning with the D. I have a 50-point lead. Just wondering if agoutis plays parallel to loiters lower down, and it doesn't. Row L available for bingos with RS in them. I don't have such a play. Can't see anything ending I or IS. Just 13 tiles in the bag now. Can I hang on? The real danger is in the top right. Once that goes, the board is dead. So opponent should use it. or leave it open and open somewhere else. Let me check the vowel consonant balance. 10 vowels out of 20. A completely balanced bag. I'm looking to get rid of the U. The Q has gone. Now I have the final S, and Zags is good. So definitely worth hanging on to that S. The best I can do right away, well, hang on to it or play it in this spot. I have Stoa. 33 points. That's a nice score to have in your pocket when you're 50 points ahead and you're entering the end game. So at the moment I'm considering Stoa, but what about taking out this danger in the top right, should that take priority? Great, opponent has not opened a new lane. He has, however, scored quite well, so I only lead by 12. Opponent, well, he doesn't have Dextral, so I can't see anything huge getting the X doubled and the whole word tripled. Just wondering about playing Gauk. 27 points, I'm retaining the S for Stoa. And if opponent does make a 3-letter play there, I could have a bingo through the D or the E. And the prospects of such a bingo are maximised with this rack cleave. One of the dangers of this rack cleave is the A, given that there are 4 A's to come. I could end up with a non-bingo rack packed with A's. And by playing Gauk, I'm foregoing the option of playing Stoa. Let me think about this. I don't think the G and the O are particularly useful. The remaining tiles aren't bingo-y. There are some big scorers amongst them, the J and the X. Very tricky spot. So, well, I was thinking about playing Udo, but I don't have the D. So I just don't have anything great at the top here. Can't see anything great in column 3. Is Gork good? No, it's not. Now, what about Otaku? 27 points, retaining the S for Zags, not providing anywhere good for the X, burning the A in the likelihood of picking one, playing off 4 tiles to expedite the end of the game. And denying my opponent the opportunity of scoring well with a play in row A through this K. I'm going with Otaku. Wow, I missed all of the A's, which is good news. My opponent's hopefully got quite a few of those. I have Griesley on my rack, and Grisley. Nowhere for either. Can't see anything with this rack beginning with T or O, or through D or E. Now, do I still have a play in the bottom right? Surely I do. Wow, I can't see any SY plays. I have Siley, SYLI. That will do the job, keeping reg. But will that spot remain available? If it doesn't, I've got Yi, Ed and Yi for about 30 points. I have a lead of about 40 points. So very tight end to this game. And the opponent is just isn't bingoing with these tiles. But it's not over because he could score really well with the J or the X. Fortunately, he hasn't got anything massive which goes after WE apart from the X, but I don't think there are any 3-letter plays beginning with the X. Opponent could play Axe in column 3. for the mid-30s. That would be a good score for him. Just revisiting the floaters in case I have something, and I must not forget rows L and M. But I'm not seeing a bingo there. Now with all these A's, row O could turn out to be useful. Fortunately I have, or rather fortunately all the T's have gone with otaku, so opponent doesn't have ataxia. 36 points, so just 3 points between us. There are 2 tiles in the bag. And I think now is the time to pull the trigger in the bottom right. So Siley for 48. Wow, I draw the X. And I am 50 points ahead. I think that's going to be enough. I have the X for Tex. I don't have any XE plays, which is a shame. So I can't see any way of getting this to score twice. I have Rex in the top right, so I'm definitely burning the X, and I think that's all I need to do. I have Axe in column 3. Just looking to see if I have anything else in column 3 apart from Axe. Not seeing anything. So I think I've exhausted the X spots around the board. Do I have anything in column 15? Okay, 34 points for my opponent. He's left himself with ENUV. He may not have an out with that rack, so if I play Axe, do I have 2 spots for GR? I have Org, I have Grab, so I certainly do. Axe for 39 is going to get the job done. Bang. Opponent has a venue through the E in the middle. So I think that is likely to be the end. And the final score, 444 to my opponent, 486 to me, a winning margin of 42 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Quite a high scoring game with opponent losing with 444 points. Now, me to go fast. And I went with Veg, and I like that because although it's 4 fewer points, I think Tape is 4 points better than Get. And even if it's not, it's going to be similar. And when it's similar, I prefer the better rack leave, and I think Tape is more suited to my word knowledge and just generally better than Get. Now, horrible rack for my opponent. Plays Craw. And I played Oop, and I still like that. And again, I think hanging on to ED is better than playing it. Now, opponent has the blank. No bingo. Plays Riz. Dwam. That's nice. Where's that? Dwam and Riser. And I played Paw for 34, keeping DEMT. I think Dwam would have been a better play. Nice spot by my opponent. Unloose. Double-double. And I have Cats for 42. Good pickup for my opponent. No bingo. Plays Elide. And B12. Imide. I think I didn't go with that. I went with Imido for 6 more points. And it's not all about score and rack leave, but to the extent that it is double ET 6 points worse than ET? I don't think so, but it might be. Might be close. Wow, 46 points available. Opponent doesn't play it, plays If. And I have this fantastic rack. A ton of bingos available. I go with a rodent. I could have got 1 more point, but only by putting a tile in row A, so I'm happy with my play. Opponent plays Fun, and this was a rack I struggled with. And I think I went with Scrawl. Yeah, and an alternative would have been them in row H. Yeah, I think both are fine. Wow, these are where the A's are. And opponent changes. And I play Mithered for 32. And I still like that. And this was a fantastic play by my opponent. Hats off to him. 72 points for Dubonnet, a very tricky one to see. Now, was there a playable bingo with this rack? No, there wasn't. Fantastic. But there was Tylery in row O. I don't think I considered the Y as going underneath the F. I think I was just looking for A's and E's. But Tylery would have played retaining the S. What did I do? I played Bye for 28, 10 fewer points. But retaining the rack leave of Lister, and Lister is a very strong 6-letter set, probably worth about 20 points, so I prefer my play. Not a nice rack for my opponent. Plays Cage. And now, these are my bingos, Estriol and Loiters, and I prefer Loiters. Not a good rack for my opponent. Plays Kibe. And now, I lead by 12, and there are 9 tiles in the bag, so it's super tight. J3, Agouti. Well, possibly worth considering. Expedites the end of the game, decent score. Does, however, create a bingo lane, but I would say even from this point, the remaining tiles very unbingo-y. So maybe Agouti would have been a good play. Except it does stick an I in row O, and the X could go after it, possibly. So I think Otaki for 27 has merit. It's the same score as Agouti. Opponent plays Jai, and now there's just 3 points between us with 2 tiles in the bag. I play Siley for 48. Raisi also available at 01, taking advantage of FY again. I think I prefer the extra points for Siley. And now opponent plays Aha. C12. Of course, my opponent's play has increased the value of playing Rex, but Axe scores the same and plays off 1 more tile, so it's better. And opponent just has the solitary out with Venue, which I don't think was worth blocking. Wow, and did opponent really run his clock down to 0? I didn't notice that. Okay, and that was the end of the game, so I think the final winning margin of about 40 points is slightly misleading because there was only 3 points or 6 points between us at a couple of stages approaching the end of the game. So super exciting stuff, really, really close. Well done to my opponent for such a close game, and a great spot again in Dubonnet. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.